Did you know? Tips for Word. HLS Show Me How. Hi, my name is Michael Giannotti, and I'm a Microsoft Teams technology specialist. You can always find myself as well as all my other colleagues for healthcare and life sciences at https://aka.ms/HLS blog. That's aka.ms/HLS blog. So, did you know? Today we're going to be covering some features that are in Microsoft Word that I find time and time again when I show them to customers, that they're looking for features like this, but they didn't even know they were in Word. And when I show them, they're like, I had no idea. I didn't know. So now today you will. The ones that we're going to cover are add files from, which you'll find is extremely useful when putting together documentation within your corporate environment. We're going to take a look at researcher, which when you're writing a research paper or something else for work, things that you might be doing and researching outside, you'll see how we can pull in outside information easily. We'll take a look at ink to shape, how if you have a touch-enabled device, right, like I have right here, I have a Microsoft Surface Book. If you have a Microsoft touch device, being able to very easily just be able to draw shapes and have them snap into a nice crisp shape. Dictate, those on the go. I hear this a lot from clinicians, but it spans across many industries where people may have their hands occupied. They can't necessarily type, they may be on the go, but they need to capture information for reuse later, and how we can actually do that with Dictate. And not only for those scenarios, but also for accessibility, where someone may have a physical disability that may inhibit their ability to type, right? Document inspection. Inspect the document. We're going to take a look at that and how you can clean up and get rid of all that hidden information and metadata within a document. Accessibility checking. We're going to see how we can do that right within the program itself. Transform, so that we can put these great documents into a responsive design web format quickly and easily. Translation, if we need to communicate cross geographic boundaries where there may, or simply just where there may be linguistic boundaries, and how we can translate content. And then finally, read aloud, again for accessibility, where, or if your hands or you're otherwise occupied but you need to attend to something, maybe you have to do something else physically, but you need to hear that content to review it. So let's go ahead, and without further delay, let's jump into our demonstration. All right, so here we are, and I am in Microsoft Word. I've opened up a template, as you can see. Nothing fancy here, just something off the web. But we're going to go ahead and use this to actually be able to start to add content and show some of the ways that we can do it. So I'm going to skip on down to this blank area. The first piece I talked about was add files from. Now, if we go to the insert area, we will see here's that add files. It also has a little indicator that says tap. Hence, internally, a lot of us call it tap and go. And what it allows me to do is think about those occasions when you need to write documentation and you need to pull from various sources within your organization. So how do you typically do that? Well, typically folks go out, they search, hunt and peck, send emails, etc. They open content, they copy it, they paste it. It's a very inefficient way of doing things, and it would be much more efficient to be able to contextually within the document find what we need and insert it. So let's take a look at how we can actually do that. So I'm going to select add files from, and it opens up this dialog box over here, and it shows me a number of documents and things that have been previously opened by me. I have the ability, you'll notice, to do filtering across all results, across the web content, pictures, looking for help, and files is where we're at now. And to put content here, I'm simply going to go in, let's say, since we know SharePoint is a hot topic again these days, it seems, that a lot of my customers, I can come in here and I'll hit enter, and it's going to go out and then pull back content. You can see here we have a whole range of content around SharePoint that I can use. Now again, I could filter this, so maybe I want to get just from the web. So now we're going out to .com, right? And we're finding content that's out there, and we can look through. Maybe we want to look at just pictures. And again, this is now leveraging the Bing engine to pull pictures that are out there, and I can have Creative Commons only. I can widen that out and get even more if desired. We also can come down, we can say, hey, we want to find help. There's no help about that on my computer at present, but files again will take me out, and this is stored out on our intranet. Now, the beauty of this whole tap and go or add files from is when I select a particular file, an Office format, it's going to go ahead and break it out and open it up, unpack it into the elements of it. So now I can go through and I can say, hey, do I want this housekeeping? No. Onto the presentation. Ooh, maybe I find something. Oh, I like this resources area. I want to make this available to my users. I didn't have to go out and find it separate. I didn't have to copy and paste it. I simply come here, click insert slide, boom, and there we go. And my content is now a part of this document. So add files from makes it simple to contextually grab that content wherever it is and to be able to draw that in. So let's go ahead and delete that. And let's move on to another similar piece called Researcher. So Researcher, if I come under the References tab, is right here. And it says, let us help you find quotes, citable sources, images, etc. So I'm going to go ahead and select Researcher. And it says research, add sources, sources automatically cited, right? You ever worry about citing the content that you're finding? You don't want to plagiarize, you want to cite it. So here we go. So let's go ahead and again, we'll use that same term. And we'll do a search on SharePoint. And here we go. We have some pertinent information, histories and features. Relevant topics, right? Dashboards. We've got all kinds of stuff. Maybe I want to grab, oh, this is an oldie. Update on Office and InfoPath. I can open in a reading view, or I can go ahead and just say I want to insert that and cite it. Create the bibliography. Yes, there we go. Look at, boom. Just like that, we're now inserting, and it's going to go ahead and now it's going to start to insert and grab that content and add it to the bibliography as well. So we're covered on all fronts. It's a great thing. And when we're doing research, very important. Another feature that I mentioned that we're going to cover was ink to shape. So if you ever wanted to insert a shape, but you weren't quite sure, you just wanted to draw, well, think no more. Simply come over here to insert, right? And once we are here, we can go ahead and do some various not insert, under draw. I can remember. Now you can't see, but I'm actually holding a pen. So we have here a couple of things. We have ink to shape. We have ink to math, where I can actually put math equations. We're not going to do that. But in our case, we are going to select ink to shape. And then I can come in here. And if I want to do a circle, let's say, boom, look at automatically. Maybe I do a square. Boom, there's a square. Here's a triangle. And so I can start to create these dynamic shapes quickly. I can color them, do whatever. But you notice it makes it much easier to create crisp views. And I'm doing it naturally using pen and ink. So another great feature that folks oftentimes are not aware of. Dictation. This is huge. Have you ever wished that you could simply just talk to your computer? And I know folks that buy all kinds of programs to do that. Well, guess what? Microsoft Windows itself has it built into the operating system, but right within the Office documents themselves, and here we're in Word, is a feature called Dictate. You'll notice if I click the drop down, I can even select based upon the language packs installed. I can pick a particular language that I want, but then it's as simple as coming in and saying, Here I am. I want to dictate and talk to my computer and have it actually type as I go, period. This is a great feature to use, especially for professionals who may have their hands occupied, maybe on the move, but have to capture information that can be reused later, shared with colleagues, maybe with patients or whoever, period. I mean, look, I'm recording my audio for a PowerPoint, and at the same time, I just recorded this whole piece using Dictate. So one computer and I did all that. It's a great feature. Look at the accuracy with which it works. It's a great piece to use. I highly recommend, if you have not used this before, take a look. Dictate is cool. And it's a great feature. Well, once you've created a document, oftentimes when you're sending it out, there may be hidden metadata. There's things like your name, the dates, you may have notes, all kinds of other goodies and stuff in there. And you want to cleanse it. Maybe you're sending it external and you know, there's things that you may be concerned that it's passing along. Be concerned no more. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to select Info. And notice we have here couple of different features, document protection, where I can lock it. But here, inspect document, check for issues. If I select it, it says before you use, make sure you save your changes. Do you want to save your file now? Yes, there we go, we'll save. All right, boom. And now what it's going to do, it opens up the document inspector. And I can select every and anything, including, look at ink, which I was just using, but I can look for comments, revisions, versions. I can look at properties, personal information, task pane add-ins, embedded documents, macros, ActiveX controls, ink, collapsed headings, custom XML data, headers, footers, watermarks, invisible content, hidden text. And I simply select Inspect. It's going to find certain content that I could go back manually if I wanted, or I could just say, you know what? Remove, remove, remove. And now let's re-inspect. And look at that. We have a clean document ready to send along. So again, a great feature. It even took out, look at the images there. So it allows us to do a great way. It's a great way to go through, clean out, get rid of the stuff that we don't want in the document to make sure it's ready to pass along. And it's built in. You don't have to do anything else. Check accessibility. So there's a couple of places actually where we do this. You know, so one of the places is under review where I can check accessibility. I can do it from here, right? And it says keep it inclusive. So it's going to go ahead and it's going to look for errors, an image or object not in line. Graphic 17 lets me find it. Here it is. And I can go ahead and do things there. We have some other warnings here. So it allows me to quickly go ahead and inspect and fix objects. Now I can get to it from there. The other place, just so you know, if I come back again to Info, check for issues, we also have check accessibility here. Finally, for some of you who may work with customers with older versions, you can even check for support for older versions of Word here. So a lot we can do, but accessibility being a key area. Now, one of the things that folks like to do when they've created a rich document is to be able to share it. Maybe they want to do it as a web page. Well, we have a feature, again, that we can do within our features in Microsoft Word. And so one of them, I believe, let's see, was it review? Oh boy, I forgot to double check. It's called transform. So let's do this. We'll use the nifty, there we go, transform to web page. Here we are. We'll select that. And when I select that, look at what it's doing. It's giving me options like we've had previously, right? We have other styles. Look at all those that are available. We could pick this celestial, boom. And it's going to go ahead and it says, hey, when you're ready, you can click transform and it's going to turn it into a web page. And that web page is being opened. There we go. And it's actually happened over on another view. So let me bring that here. And so here's that celestial view in a web page that is responsive design. So, you know, it's going to go ahead and auto relay out, etc. So it looks good no matter where you're accessing it from. But now I have this web ready page that I can share, use with my customers, with my client. You know, you can do it internally or externally as need be. So a lot that can be done there. And somebody is trying to dial me. And no, I don't want to talk to you. Okay, there we go. So let's go ahead and click close transform. So we've seen how we can make it into a web page. I have two last things I wanted to show, translation and read aloud, that are very similar. And somebody is just not giving up. So we're going to hang up on them. There we go. So what for translate, you know, oftentimes we may have content that we need to put into another language. So if I go under review, here is translate. You'll notice we have options and it says I can translate a section or a selection. And in this case, I'm going to go ahead and we are going to, we can translate the entire document translator or a selection. So let me go ahead and I'll just select, I guess we'll use that and say that section. And then we're going to get this little pane here and then we're going to go from English to, we pick a language. So since I'm a Michael Giannotti, we will go ahead and we'll pick Italian, molto bene, and there it is. And so now I have this whole section here in Italian. I can go ahead, copy that. I can take that and put that into the document if I want, right? So we'll come on down here to our little area and boom, just like that. We can go ahead and add content and have various translations available. So it's a beautiful thing. And we have selection. Again, we can also do the entire document. Simply come here and, oh, what the heck. I go to Haiti on occasion. So we're going to select translate entire document. And now I've got it in Haitian Creole. Beautiful. Last but not least, and notice it's made a second version of that document for me, right? The last thing is read aloud. So also here under the this particular section for review, you may have a need to have things read aloud. And so I can go ahead, select it. And it may not work. Yeah, because I'm doing my other features. But if you select read aloud, it'll allow you to go in and again, be able to actually listen to the content and have the content highlighted as it's reading. It's a very simple feature, but I think give it a try in your system when you're not recording and doing these other things and causing a contention. So that was it. I mean, some cool features that are in Microsoft Word. I'm going to give you some links in this particular post that you'll be able to go to and take a look at other things that you can do with Word, some training around Word. Get familiar with it. It's not the Word of years past. Word is rocking. It is modern, workplace ready to help you. And I hope you enjoyed seeing things like add files from, researcher, ink to shape, dictate, inspect document, checking accessibility, transforming, translating, and reading aloud. With that, this is Michael Giannotti. You can always find me again and all of my colleagues in healthcare and life sciences at ak.ms/HLS blog. You can also connect with me directly on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/in/Mike Giannotti. And finally, you can also connect with me on Twitter at twitter.com/Giannotti. Hope this has been helpful. I hope you get out there and start using some of these features of Word. Have a great day, and as always, take care and ciao.